Hello, everybody, to another episode of Half a Clue TV Review.
We're back.
We are back with another Marvel property, the ever so glorious new critically acclaimed outing called Moon Knight. Is it going to be as dark, edgy, pushing the boundaries of PG-13 violence that Kevin Feige said it would? Is it? Have we just figured out the different sound profiles on our recording booth? Yes. And now you're going to hear it throughout the entire episode.
Oh, are we really? That's great. Yay.
Yay. Okay, I'm going to push it more to the middle so we can all have access to it. I'm sorry. We've unleashed a new beast.
Yeah, we just recently discovered, oh, hey, look, we can do all these other things.
I know.
Took us long enough, you know.
Having this recording for a while. Yeah. Okay. So Moon Knight, back on topic. My name is Philip.
Hey, I'm Ron.
And this is Half a Clue TV Review.
Yeah. And tonight we'll be discussing Moon Knight. Okay. Okay, don't make me take this away from you.
Okay. The timing was pretty perfect.
So this show was created, or actually Moon Knight was created by
Doug Moench and Don Perlin, and that's how you say it, right?
Yeah, sure. That sounds
right.
Yeah. So this show is based off of the character of Moon Knight, who's been a really kind of like an underground favorite in terms of comics. Like, I mean, he's not super obscure or anything. He's like decently known, but he's never really been in like the forefront or anything. He's kind of just been like a lower strung character who has had many different kinds of changes and interpretations throughout comics, which is kind of great about him, you know, because it's really just opened him up to like basically they'll just let them do whatever they want with him, you know. But I got a feeling that's going to change.
Yeah, they are. I feel it's I'll say this. At least let's hop on the premise of the show real quick.
Yes,
Moon Knight in the comics is generally known as like Marvel's answer to Batman, but Batman with DID essentially. Yeah, but that has changed dramatically over the years to many different interpretations. The way this series takes it is not really like that approach at all, but they keep the DID part. Marc Spector is somebody who suffers from the dissociative identity disorder, and he has different personalities. By the way, spoiler alert, like Stephen Grant, and a third personality, which we will talk about later.
Yeah. And
at the same time, he made a deal with Konshu to be resurrected as his Moon Knight of Vengeance, and basically is an avatar for an Egyptian god called Konshu.
Yes. Yes. I don't know why he said it like that, but yes, it's Konshu.
Konshu.
The Egyptian god of the moon.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because it opens up a lot of new it's a whole new pantheon of gods that they have not touched on yet.
Yeah.
The Egyptian gods, which I think, just really don't get enough attention as they should because they're really cool and very interesting.
Cool mythology too.
Yeah.
You guys, like, I know Yu-Gi-Oh did it, but let's move on. Like, other people could also have Egyptian gods.
Yeah.
Except gods of Egypt. That doesn't count.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, we're opening into a new realm here. And like we're saying before, like Moon Knight,
is it better than Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, that's impossible. Sorry, it's not better than Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh my gosh. You have all the pieces of I forgot the god, or you get the arm, leg.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
The blue-eyed white dragon.
It's blue.
And that's like Kaiba's thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway,
Raw? Is it Raw?
No. It's Raw. Then there's like there's a serpent one. I forget his name.
Yeah. There's like obelisk
thing. The Destroyer.
Yeah, but I know there's like Yu-Gi-Oh has that specific thing for all the pieces or something.
Yeah. Oh fuck! Whatever. We're
not. It's relevant.
Yeah, if you remember the name of all the big cards from Yu-Gi-Oh, please list every single one of them.
I remember the purple magician thing.
Oh yeah, it's a dark magician.
The dark
I know that
magician,
one,
yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
This could have used some of that.
yeah, dude. Honestly, it's a weird mixed bag. There's a lot of stuff going on in this one. They introduce a lot of. It's like at the same time, is it just kind of more of the same? You know?
Yeah.
That seems to be the big issue. And honestly, is Disney Plus really becoming this big problem or not? You know, is it kind of just grinding all of these like ideas into one kind of thing, or is this going to be a problem moving forward? Or was just Moon Knight kind of a stumble? But at the same time, it's not, because I don't know, people did like it.
Yeah, I mean,
I did like it for like the most part, and then it's just
one of the better ones.
yes,
Yeah, let's just go with brief opinions. I think cards on the table. I do like this. It might. And it's almost a testament to how I haven't loved the Disney Plus series. It's definitely, I think, top 3. So for sure, like it's
it
like
might be, yeah.
Loki's my favorite. I think that one was like not perfect, but it's wildly imaginative, great acting. It was very creative on all fronts, cinematography, score. We have a
production
review.
design. Yeah, it's great. Go listen to it. It's one of our earlier ones, actually.
Yes, we have 2 different videos, and I think that perfectly embodies like what a TV series for Marvel should be.
Yes.
And then there's WandaVision, which is I think maybe my number 2.
Yeah, that's another one that's like, again, a mixed bag. It's like, I think
but people love it a lot more than I do.
all of them except Loki, although that one does have its own controversy in terms of like their finales seem to be where they kind of fall and stumble the most, which like people love to like praise the Marvel shows, the Netflix shows in like, you know, in hindsight or but people forget that there was a lot of issues with the Marvel shows too. Even Daredevil had some of its issues too.
Yeah.
But it seems like they start off, talking about the Disney Plus shows now, it's like they start off like maybe creative, maybe starting off like pushing some new boundaries that we haven't seen before. And then by the time we get to their final episode, things kind of just
same trappings.
Yeah, it's like, don't worry, this has to be a big spectacle like thing, except for Loki. And I think that's one of the reasons
and that's why it worked for me. For us.
For me,
the weirdos. It works for the weirdos, pretty much. Yeah.
It was like, this isn't like some crazy big grand fight. It's like, it was pretty much just a conversation for the whole finale. Yeah. Unlike WandaVision, unlike even
Falcon
Hawkeye.
and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Falcon, Winter Soldier. And then
Hawkeye. Oh, really? Yeah, that one. Oh.
Yeah. And
that was like one of my least favorites.
And now Moon Knight ended with the giant god kaiju battle fighting over the Great Pyramids of Giza.
Yeah.
And you know, Moon Knight, he felt like he was pushed to the background almost in his own finale, which was
actually in a weird way. The gods in the background really had no effect on the battle.
Nothing really.
It was cool. I thought like, are they gonna do something with this? Like, their battle is reflecting, like, is it gonna mirror the battle between Arthur Harrow and Marc Spector?
Oh,
and it's gonna be Amit and Konshu's battle. Like, they're gonna mirror each other. But
no, don't worry. We don't get to see that really.
No, we don't.
We didn't really get to see it at all, which was disappointing.
And this was the short. Okay, so let's before we jump the gun on bitching about the finale.
I'm already jumping.
Yeah. It's because it's a lot of bitching. Yeah, it's a lot of bitching. You want to go press the sound profile? What?
Yeah. That's not the one I wanted to press.
was it the wah, 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 wah?
No, we'll get to it later.
Yeah. So let's start with the beginning. The first episode, I'll be honest. Okay, so I was a little trepidatious when going to the show.
Yeah,
because it was created or spearheaded by a showrunner by Jeremy Slater. So let's look at his credits. Fantastic Four, the Fantastic film, Death Note on Netflix, but then the Umbrella Academy. He didn't create it, but he did, helped it, right? So maybe he had more creative control. So I was like, okay, so his most recent thing wasn't that bad. I had my own problems with the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we'll see.
I'm a fan of the Umbrella Academy. I think it's a good time. Honestly, it's one of those that was really an unexpected hit for me, where I was like, oh wow, like this is doing much better than than it was going to.
It should be, yeah. So I was hoping like, okay, maybe he's bringing that some over to this, but I really think The writing was the weakest part, but
Mm-hmm.
the things that save it. God bless Oscar Isaac.
Oh
Who
yeah.
I could feel his creative touch on the show. Like he
Yeah.
probably was like, okay, we need more character focused stuff. I feel like episode 5 was like his baby, which is the second to last episode.
Yeah.
The DID moments, he really fleshed out the characters. And also I gotta give props to the directors, except for the action scenes. But Mohammed Diab or Diab, I don't know if I'm saying it right. And Aaron Moorhead, and the directing duo, Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson. And Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson just recently got confirmed to direct Loki season 2,
Awesome.
which is great. Like I could really see their creative visual flourishes onto there. They directed the weirder episodes, and though they also directed a lot of these weird indie films, indie sci-fi films that are almost like mumblecore in a weird way. And they recently did this film called Synchronic with Anthony Mackie, which like you take a drug that lets you transport in that place to any time, and your body gets transported in and out. But if you but if you don't get to the specific spot that where you first took the drug, then you're stuck in that place forever.
Interesting.
And then so they're very creative, right?
Yeah.
And I could definitely see that in their episodes. And I think those individuals helped sustain whatever enjoyment I had throughout the series. Right. Like in the first one, I know Mohammed Diab, who's like the director, was working with Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke. Like he said, Ethan, like you don't have to read the script. Like when we get on set, let's develop your character together. Let's add all the flourishes that weren't on the script. Like the stuff with the glass and the feet and like his cane or just like how his look. They developed that together. That wasn't in the script.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I give props to those people. Oh, and Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke was also great.
That's great because I think episode 1 was one of the better pilot episodes.
Because it was like an actual TV pilot, whereas like they're trying to actually introduce you to and hook you onto a series.
Yeah, it had a lot of like, interesting like, mystery elements to it. You're trying to kind of figure out, piece together what's happening. You get that fantastic intro to Arthur Harrow. Unfortunately, that's about as much depth as we get into his character in the entire show. Because do you know Arthur Harrow's deal? Because I don't. He's basically he's just kind of he didn't want to kill people for
well, I guess because he was that's another thing. I thought because this was another problem I have with the show is so like and this tie back to the first episode where this why is 6 episodes?
Yeah.
Why? It's way too short. I thought there was going to be an entire episode to Arthur Harrow's like time as Moon Knight because he was a former Moon Knight.
Yeah.
And that's a fascinating concept. Like, why does he hate Konshu so much? How has Konshu broken down so much?
Yeah. It's because like we get like a good hints of it about how he's like really messing with Mark / Steven / eventually. Didn't know he was the last guy.
Oh, Jake Lockley.
Oh, Jake Lockley. Yes. But we kind of only catch like real glimpses of it. Honestly, Konshu doesn't seem that bad to me.
No.
So like, what did he put Arthur through?
Right.
I don't know.
And he has a cane. He has a limp.
Yeah.
So like, what did that happen? I would have loved to seen that. And if anything, the only reason why I was interested in that villain was because of Ethan Hawke, and he added so many like characterization and flourishes to that character that probably wasn't on the script, and they worked with the director, like the way he walked, the way he talked. His Mandarin was terrible, but whatever.
But so it's like I think the pilot was a very strong pilot.
Yeah,
there was a big sense of mystery. It was kind of creepy. It was a lot of cool visual flares. The
blackouts. I love the blackouts.
Yeah, the blackouts were great. He kind of woke up and was like, "What?" And it seemed like they were really kind of stepping outside of their comfort zones a bit. And I was like, "All right, like this is a great start to this. I can't wait to for them to cut back. Maybe we'll fill in the blanks in other ways." And they don't, and that's where it's like, again, it kind of near the end,
they didn't commit as much.
They didn't commit.
Yeah,
that was my biggest issue. I was
and that's another thing. It's what was it? And they also shot on location.
Yeah.
which is rare for a Marvel anything. It's like that in Eternals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So I was like,
Wait,
wow.
did they shoot this in a parking lot in Atlanta?
I know.
What? That's crazy.
So I was like, wow, that's cool. And then it looked nicer too, like because they shot on location.
Yeah.
So I was like it's almost deceptive.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, oh wow, I'm like, fuck yeah.
I am intrigued. I'm here for it. Intro was cool. Outro is also cool.
Yeah.
And again, Oscar Isaac really just carrying this show on his back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then the second episode, Summon the Suit, which I also still enjoyed.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed that one. We saw a little bit more Marc Spector. We saw a little bit more Arthur Harrow. Like it got me more intrigued about his society and what his goals and motivations are. And also we found out that Konshu, his history with Konshu. So I was like, okay, let's kind of teasing it out. We're seeing this, and then we see Moon Knight more in action, right?
Yeah, this is first real glimpse of Moon Knight.
And Layla.
Yeah, and Layla. And he summons the suit, as it says, and he eventually kills a jackal, which was cool. Again, another big thing. I was like, sweet. He's gonna be like fighting monsters and stuff. 'Cause that's a big part of it. I mean, Moon Knight was introduced in Werewolf by Night comic and stuff. He was fighting a werewolf, which is awesome. So it's like there's some more mystical elements into it. Obviously, it's like
Well, he fights people for the most part.
Yeah, he mostly also like I don't know for the readers or for the non-readers. Moon Knight doesn't usually have actual powers.
No,
and it makes it more of a mystery of whether he is crazy and is imagining the Egyptian moon god actually having him use him as his tool, or is he just a crazy guy who's out just beating the crap out of criminals just because? And it's like you can't really tell exactly at times. Sometimes it's like again, it's like it varies
depends
from
on
writer
the run.
to writer. Yeah.
Yes. Like
it's
recent runs, they just
interesting.
make it like he is like
Yeah. So it's like this one they leaned definitely much further into the Egyptian mythology stuff, which was honestly something I was really cool with. I was like, sweet, I would love to explore that world and how it like works within the MCU and stuff. Like that's really awesome. I'm all for that. So I was cool with it. So yeah, I was still on board. I still was enjoying episode 2 as well. Yeah.
And then we get to episode 3, which they go to Cairo.
The friendly type. That's called.
And this is where I saw some of the cracks. Like finally, where I was like, I mean, there's really cracks before, but then they go to Cairo, which is nice. Once again, location.
Yeah.
And Layla, we find a little bit more about Layla and her history with her dad and her relationship with Mark. And Layla was one of the better parts, like compared to other love interests that we're going to introduce to the MCU.
Yeah.
She's capable. She's useful. She also has her own,
She's a very interesting relationship too with both Mark and Steven, which I like. She
falls in love with Steven.
Yeah, I love that. It's like she's kind of over Mark's shit. She's like, this is dumb. Like I can't stand this anymore. But she's still also like she sees like the the beauty and everything that's with Steven. And then like that causes like this weird love triangle with the man and his 2 different personalities. Like that's
and they punched each other, which was cool. That's an interesting relationship.
Yeah,
not explored well.
No, yeah, it doesn't really go much further than that. Honestly.
I mean, that's why, and we'll get into future speculation where I'm like, if this is just really one season, then I'll be very fucking disappointed.
No way, dude.
If we're so fucking disappointed.
They're gonna do season 2. It's gonna be announced like next week.
Yeah, they have to. I'm just and Anton Mogart, who I'm very sad. Very sad for the actual person who I know eventually that was supposed to be Midnight Man's arch nemesis to Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Sorry for Gaspard Ulliel. I think that's how you say his name, and who tragically passed after filming. So I don't know what they're gonna do with that character.
Yeah.
They probably might just like kill him off or recast. Probably recast.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't love that storyline that much.
No, it really kind of felt like strangely out of place.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, and also
he didn't feel much of a threat either.
Yeah, I didn't feel threatening like at all, really. And then the fight scenes, like where they're like
very badly edited.
Yeah, it was badly edited and not very, not choreographed very well either.
No,
like they're just kind of I don't know. It's like again, Moon Knight. You expect him to like be just kind of vicious, and Kevin Feige made some promises where he's like, oh no, don't worry, this Moon Knight's gonna really push things. It's really gonna make things like
Oh, he promised that? He promised it's gonna push the boundaries of anything he talks about. That's Kevin Feige for you.
Yeah. We ended up not really. Like, it's like we said this in the Doctor Strange review, but I was like way more shocked at how far they were willing to go in Doctor Strange than they were in Moon Knight.
Because sometimes Kevin Feige overpromises.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, or not even overpromises, but just he just thinks that people have the mildest taste or whatever.
To quote Kevin Feige, it's gonna be PG-13 and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's like, oh, but I do give him props. Like I bet you if audiences watched whatever and he was the CEO and money was an issue, he probably would be making more creative decisions like that. But he has to be a business person. Yeah,
but unfortunately, he does have to acquiesce to
like the Disney
Plus and everything. Yeah, because I mean, people were already getting upset that like Daredevil was on Disney Plus. They're like, what? This is like more adult content. They're like, yeah, that's why we had you make sure that there's like an age restriction for it, you know? And that's what I was really hoping for. That's why it gave me hope when I was like, ooh, Daredevil's on Disney Plus now? Fuck yeah. Like, it's going to be awesome. Maybe this will allow them to make more, you know, R-rated or at least just like much grittier, heavier stuff. And it goes beyond just that. It's just like, you know, it's not just about wanting to see, you know, blood or gore,
but just like more darker thematic material too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And like, you know, have their fights and, you know, all this have consequences.
Right.
You know?
Have more impact.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, when they were fighting, and it's funny too, because like the stunt coordinators and stuff like that. I think I'll show you the video afterwards. Shows Oscar Isaac training without just bare street clothes in like, you know, in one of those stunt gyms.
Nice.
With all the coordinators, and you could see some of the choreography that was on Moon Knight there, but it was filmed as one take, and he was fast, he was moved, he was lean, and he got the shit down. And I was like, Oscar Isaac put so much training into this. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Production team.
Just cutting it to ribbons.
Yeah, I'm just like, and it looked really good when it was all one take. Like the choreography and stuff like that. For you know how like they usually make previous stunt videos.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then Oscar Isaac was doing all of it perfectly with the stunt people. Like the moves, the jumps, and everything. And I was like, then why the fuck did you just...
Yeah, it's like, you know, again, not to just keep hammering on the Daredevil thing here, but like Daredevil also started that trend of like the hallway fight scenes, and it became a trend for a good reason, because it's like an unbroken sequence of just like showing.
Oh wait, no. I mean, it was more like it started from Old Boy.
Oh yes, it started from Old Boy. Sorry, but I just meant
like superhero stuff.
Yeah, superhero stuff, and especially Marvel.
Yeah,
it like, you know, it really kind of like, you know, started that thing up. I mean, Old Boy's been around for a long time. But like for here in this sequence, it was very much inspired by Old Boy and stuff. You can see like, you know, you see how exhausting it is to like really have those long enduring fights. Now, if you're going to give this guy superpowers, you're going to give him like, you know, strength or like speed and agility and whatever. That's when you can like look to something like Winter Soldier.
Right. That elevator sequence.
Yeah, the elevator sequence. You see like, you know, when they're first storming that boat, and you see like Captain America just like boom, 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 just like speed running through everything. That's awesome. That's so cool. And I was hoping for something somewhat similar to that with Moon Knight, and we just never got that.
Yeah,
we never got that one sequence that we're just waiting for to see like Moon Knight really just
tearing through these people.
Yeah, it's like show this dude being terrifying, because that's like
a supernatural fucking strength.
Yeah, it's like that's a quote from the Moon Knight comic where like, you know, he has a white costume so that he can see criminals. So criminals can see him coming, because unlike, you know, Batman, who wants to hide in the shadows, he's like, no, I want them to see me so that they're terrified of me, but I'm gonna get them no matter what. And it's like he's unhinged. It's like it's crazy.
So I would have loved to seen that, like going crazy, like panting, and just bashing people's heads in,
going too far. You know, at times where someone's like, whoa, is this dude really going too far? Because again, to quote Feige here, he said there were certain scenes where we were like, oh no, is this going too far?
Yeah,
tell me what scene that was, Kevin, because I don't know.
I don't see anything. Also, another thing is just like I don't know. I'm really just thinking like it felt so. I felt sad just watching it because I was just like, it's what happened to, because like even in the first episode where he does the blackouts, then his face would be covered with blood and the assassin would
his
die.
jaw was like dislocated too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was expecting, there was a hint of something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's depressing. And even like Zack Snyder did it better with Wonder Woman in the Justice League in the bank robbery scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like when like she punches a bank robber, the bank robber's neck would snap as it hits the wall. Like, because that's probably what happened.
Sound effects can do a lot,
But whatever. Okay, we'll move on. We'll move on.
We're talking a lot of negatives here, but also like we'll get into the positives because there's a lot of positives here. Because this isn't like, I know it sounds like we're really just bashing on it and batching. I think it's just because our expectations were elevated, and promises were given, and
also it was like the first episode was really good.
Yeah, and as expectations were growing as the show was going on, because I was like liking it, and then like by the time it came to the finale, I was kind of like, oh, it's over now. Like,
but
all right.
I did really love episode 4, also directed by the directing duo I was talking about, who made the Synchronic and the weird sci-fi genre films.
Yeah, might be my favorite episode.
That 4 and 5 are my favorite for sure. Those two for sure.
Yes.
The fourth one was like like straight out of like feels like a action adventure horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Tomb raiding type of escapade with like people who are just like archaeologists or something like that.
Yeah.
Little Indiana Jones, Little Mummy.
They find the tomb of Alexander the Great. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's like, if you're a history buff, it's been lost to time. No one really knows where it is. It's just like, it's fun and cool. And like they had that weird, was like that creature thing that was like mummifying people and stuff. Really cool. I was like, that was cool. Like that was like seemed darker than what they like, that actually did seem a little darker than what we're used to. So kudos, Kevin.
Oh, we forgot to mention for episode 3. Oh, you know what? No. Episode 3. So this is gonna kind of go in tandem with kudos to Kevin.
Yeah, that
he did promise the weird stuff with the sky moving scene.
Oh yeah, the sky moving scene, really cool visually, and like just like kind of you got to get a real taste of like Kevin's power. And I imagine everyone in the MCU.
Yeah, Kevin Feige is God.
Yeah. Great job, Kevin. Great
job. Yeah. No, I really did love that episode. It was fun. That's what I wanted, more of that. In this series of like Mark's, Steven and Layla going to different tombs or like countries trying to find artifacts and stopping them from destroying shit in the world. It's
weird. I think I was kind of leaning more towards like I wanted to see him deal with like concepts like that, but also kind of staying more street level. Like I didn't want it to get too like expansive, I guess. I don't know. Right. Like,
but I kind of didn't want street level because because we already have so many street level superheroes from MCU. Yeah. Or not MCU, but I guess that they're not technically
the Netflix
MCU,
shows,
but Netflix shows and stuff like that. And I felt like with the Egyptian gods, it's such an interesting concept.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I kind of want him to go back to like if they do a season 2, I hope that they do like something where it's like he's dealing with a lot of like the Egyptian god concept stuff, but leans more into like how unstable and everything he is. Maybe dives a little deeper into his psyche, because it feels like we only really got a touch once we get into, episode 5,
which is like tied with episode 4 is my favorite. The Asylum episode.
It's a good one. It's a goodie.
That one we got like this kind of heartbreaking, tragic backstory for Marc Spector, and how he blames himself for his brother's death, and how his mom was very abusive, and that caused the Stephen Graham personality to arise. Yeah, and I was like, wow, kudos to you, Marvel. You're touching such darker material, thematic material, which I wanted in this show.
Emotional damage.
Emotional. We're not gonna do the TikTok trend here. Emotional damage.
Hey, that's a YouTuber, okay? That's
I know,
fellow YouTuber.
But then like TikTok has like,
of course. I mean, TikTok's gonna take everything.
But it's but it was on such a sensitive matter where it didn't feel distasteful or exploitative. like people with DID,
Yeah.
and at the same time, it was like making Mark a much more emotionally rich character than a simple mercenary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like there was just again the visual touches too.
Yeah,
Of it being
yeah.
like it kind of like the reality was breaking. You couldn't tell exactly what was it happening. It was like, was this in his head? Like that can't be, but or not. But then at the same time, you're more put in his shoes, which was great. And it kind of like that's where for me, I was getting excited because it
Yeah.
led back to what we were kind of promised from like episode 1, where I was like, "Oh, great, this is cool!" Like we're getting back into like his craziness, his psyche breaking, and the whatever that could, all the different potential for that. Yeah,
And then we also got introduced to our favorite hippo god, Tawaret, Tawaret or something.
Towlet,
Taweret. I just remember the spelling.
Tawat,
Tawaret, whatever.
it's adorable.
Yeah, hippo, which I actually kind of like. She was actually like a cool addition.
Yeah.
Oh, and we saw the Egyptian version of the afterlife in the MCU, which is dope as fuck.
Yeah.
I like, okay, that's cool. There is an Egyptian afterlife or whatever for people in the field of reeds.
Yeah.
And the sands that completely encase you forever.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
I'm like, wow, this is the stuff that I want in these Marvel shows that you can't do in films because it's too weird for the general audience or
Yeah,
whatever.
and it's hard to like flesh out and everything. But that's where I think the biggest issue is there.
Yeah. And then the last episode, which is the shortest episode by 43 minutes.
Yeah.
Like every episode was, I was like, oh wow, these episodes are actually like 53 minutes, an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
But then this one was 43 minutes. I was like, how?
It's like there seems like there's a lot to wrap up here, you know?
And it was rushed as fuck.
Super rushed.
Yeah. So it was like immediately you could already feel like the pacing. And this was written by Jeremy Slater, who, wrote Fan Four Stick and fucking Death Note and whatever. He was the Umbrella Academy fights. I'll throw him a bone, but this was the most rushed. I think one of the most rushed finales I felt in any MCU property or an MCU series.
It's up there with WandaVision for me.
And Hawkeye too. Actually, no, Hawkeye
didn't.
It wasn't rushed. It was just messy.
It was more messy.
Yeah.
But yeah, WandaVision was like, oh great, we gotta have the big fight with the final villain that we don't really know at all.
We had one flashback scene where she absorbs. She was like from Salem, absorbs everybody, and I was like, that's cool. We would love, and they're making a Agatha spin-off series, which whatever. That one actually I'm questioning, like why.
Is there a boo button on the here that we can? No, that's not boo.
Or we could just
oh yeah.
We're still figuring out the sound effects. But
try not to be as obnoxious with that in the future.
Right. But in this one it was just like the entire thing with Arthur. Like I was like, we didn't get an Arthur Harrow Moon Knight fucking sequence.
Yeah, I was really expecting and hoping that we would get more of him.
Yeah,
something. Just get let's see what his backstory is. Let's see like really how his mind works, how he was able to get like seduced by this like idea of what Ahmet is pitching to him, which I don't know. It's not basically what is it?
Like you have to make the audience has to make their own leaps and not because of the storytelling, what the narrative presents.
Yeah,
which is like bad.
That's not good writing.
No, it's bad.
It's just like look how his idea Minority Report. That's what I'm thinking of. His basically Minority Report mentality of like kill him before bad things happen. It's like okay, I guess.
So like why? Like what did Konshu do to make you turn to Ahmet?
Yeah.
Right. Like that was always an interesting. That's what I was fascinated about that character. And we never fucking saw it.
Yeah.
Never saw it. And then it was just sort of weird. So it was like the pacing was like, okay, Mark gets out of field of reeds, saves Steven, gets revived. Tawaret is communicating, which was actually kind of hilarious how she communicates with Layla through dead bodies.
Yeah.
Which I actually loved.
That was cool.
And but then like that's all like the first 10 minutes. Like that's they were just rushing through.
Layla gets a suit.
Layla gets a suit.
She's like
she's Scarlet Scarab, I think. That's her superhero like from the comics apparently.
I had no idea who she was.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
So
I think it's a different character from what I understand. I think it's actual Layla is like an original character to the show,
but then
who is like
it adopts the mantle of Scarlet Scarab.
yeah, she's like an amalgamation of like a couple different Moon Knight characters of like Mark's wife, who is also very different, but then also like the Scarlet Scarab apparently.
Which is cool. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
like,
cool. It's fine.
I liked it. And they kind of make a humorous pairing. You know, those two, Tawaret and Layla.
Yeah.
And her powers were cool. Like, she seemed like a somewhat cooler Falcon. She had like bulletproof wings or something.
That's cool.
So, and we'll see. Let's
put
but
that
it was
on
rushed. It was rushed.
Yes, it was very rushed.
It was rushed. And also, yeah, she freed Konshu. And then Konshu tries to fight Ahmed. Then Ahmed's like, and then Khonshu's like, Mark, you're alive again. And it goes back to Mark. Then becomes Moon Knight again. Then he fucking gives Moon Knight the ability to kind of fly or glide all the way. Like I said, this is the first like 15 minutes. Yeah. Oh, and then Arthur Harrow also killed all the avatars of the other Egyptian gods.
Yeah, which I was like, what?
In like, they didn't even like in just one shot.
Yeah,
killed. I was like, what?
That was the part where I start really scratching my head, where I'm just like, that I call bullshit.
Yeah,
they showed them. They seemed like they're supposed to be really powerful, and in terms of like the hierarchy, aren't they supposed to basically be like the top gods?
Yeah, Osiris.
So
they talked about Osiris. Tawaret's like Osiris is like kind of like her boss.
Yeah,
and he's a Salem. He's like the guy who like. Remember, like Mark tried to punch Arthur during the trial, which is a cool when Konshu was trying to try Arthur Harrow in front of the gods.
Yeah, cool.
And you remember the guy who like who stopped Mark from punching Arthur?
Yes.
Like his god is supposedly one of the top gods, but he just went out like a bitch.
Yeah, they all got just one-shotted. It's like, what? Like, again, just really like I don't get exactly why that's not a big thing, and also why is like Konshu the only god that's now trying to take on Ahmed, when it's like there's a whole pantheon of gods. Like, really? Like, you guys all just sitting this one out? Or like, I guess there's no avatars now anymore, but you can't get a new. I don't know. I was like, oh, all right, whatever. Like, whatever, this is happening. And they have that giant kaiju battle,
which has no effect on any people or the actual battle.
Didn't do anything.
And also, like, dude, she's creating a cataclysmic event where thousands, maybe millions of people are dying right now because she's prejudging like everybody within this vicinity, or at least in Egypt.
Yeah.
Right. So where's the consequence of that? How are the people reacting to that?
I don't know.
No, we don't see any of that. We don't see any of that. I'm like, well, what is happening? The show was just like taking its time, exploring the characters, and then Arthur is now trying to beat them up with sticks, I guess. Okay, cool. I guess. Layla has bulletproof wings, and they're like, you're an Egyptian superhero.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool.
Fine. Yeah. And I guess they have one decent shot sequence of them fighting where it actually held on to them fighting for like more than 2 seconds. It was in like overhead when Mr. Knight would use the batons.
Oh yeah. That was nice. I like that.
And I was like, where was this director of action? And then it just disappears. And then, but honestly, my favorite part of that fight sequence was once again the blackout.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know,
because I was like kind of like, but I wish they did that more though. Throughout the sequence.
Like, you mean the final part where it looks like Mark is gonna lose, and then he blacks out, he wakes up, and Arthur's like knocked out.
Yeah, but I wish they did that more throughout the sequence, or even more throughout the series, because they had that one. Remember, he blacked out and he had that guy's heart stabbed. Yeah, in episode 3. Yeah, like I wish there was more of Jake Lockley coming out.
The problem is like they're teasing him early on and everything. Like a few times they kind of tease out like, oh, there's somebody else here. They even show the sarcophagus that oh, he's probably in there, and they avoid it. So it's like they should have, like, honestly, I feel like again, how rushed this finale feels. Like, there doesn't feel like there's any room to introduce the character of Jake Lockley now. But they did. And they kind of like, they had that again where they're like, oh, he blacked out again, so that means like that's somebody else. And it's like, okay, we get that, but what are you doing with it, right? Why are we having that moment in this part, in this finale, against the final boss who, you know, this big climactic fight that's been building up to. Now you really just shortchanged us for this this little tease.
Yeah.
What for what?
And Jake Lockley
For later to tune into Disney Plus, because there is gonna be a season 2. Don't worry.
Yeah, or a film. I don't know. We'll see. And this personality is supposedly a lot better at killing or violence than the other ones. And like that would have been cool to see throughout. I don't know. Fuck. And then that's why like when Mark was like, "I'm gonna be freed," Mark and Steven like, "We're gonna be freed," and you see the Moon Knight disappearing. I felt no sense of mystery or tension because I'm like, oh no, because Konshu will find the loophole and he'll just use Jake Lockley, and that's what exactly happened. Jake Lockley comes out and kills Arthur, so I guess we'll never see an Arthur fucking Moon Knight flashback sequence. Okay, fuck you. And what happened, Layla? Like that whole thing with Layla's relationship unresolved.
Mm-hmm.
And it just ends with the every day I wake up, every day fuck off. Fuck off.
Yeah. Disappointing.
I'm actually getting angrier thinking about this. They're talking.
The thing is like it wasn't even it's just like there's a lot of potential that was building up throughout the series for it to just really stumble at the finish line, and it just again
rushed
to just wrap this up, you know. There was a lot of like interesting ideas introduced, some cool concepts, some interesting visuals, some like passable action, you know, for me.
Yeah,
and then
below average or anything.
Yeah, and then it kind of like it all kind of fumbles apart at the end because like they have those character moments, and Oscar Isaac is carrying this whole damn show, and then right at the end it's like they kind of just like, well, we need that big battle.
For some reason.
Yeah, we need that big battle, and we got to wrap this up because this is only 6 episodes. So, and that's it. Like, run. Like, cool.
I thought there was going to be I actually thought there was going to be a battle of ideology between Arthur and Marc Spector and Stephen Grant.
Yeah, something a little more, you know, nuanced.
Yeah, and they're just going to talk. But, you know, you can't have that in Disney Plus. Is Disney Plus a problem?
Yeah. Unless you're doing Loki, I guess, because Loki seems to be the only real exception to that.
Right, because there's a season 2 coming out.
Yeah.
And that one had, like, Kay Herron, I think the director, and Michael Waldron, like, one basic 2 core, like, writer-director duo the entire time. And they have more creative control and stuff.
That was very that makes a big difference.
Yeah. So I don't know. Okay, you know, I'm getting depressed. Let's just wrap this up. Fuck the show. Just kidding. I actually did because I was like episode 5 and 4. I was like, wow, this is the shit that I wanted from this Moon Knight show.
Yeah.
This is the shit that's making me excited. And then the last episode. Okay. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so final ratings. Where are you gonna put this?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna put the shit bucket. I'm not gonna use the sound effect.
There's a fart sound effect.
It's crazy. Even those like top 3 Marvel shows, that's saying how much I have not loved the MCU Disney Plus series. This would be, and I liked it a lot. I did. It's just weird.
It's like
streaming with ads. Streaming with ads.
Okay.
Yeah, Game of Thrones season 8. Well, I mean, because that one that hurt more.
Yeah, that hurt way more because there's so much more over the course of years. Yeah, of like build up and anticipation for it to just really just kind of slowly die right in front of you.
Not slowly. It was like quick. Actually, no, it's not slow.
No, there were issues a few seasons beforehand, and then it just like, and it was like, oh, doubts.
Avalanche.
Yeah, and then by the end, it was like, you know, kind of all those doubts and things that you didn't like. It's like, well, here's everything terrible. So yeah, it's a lot like that. I think the ending really kind of brought down my opinion of the show like a lot more than I was really anticipating. Because again, I was having a good time for the most part. But it just, the ending really kind of like really brought it down. I'm going to give it, I'm also going to give it a streaming with ads. It's unfortunate. Yeah. I don't know if I see myself revisiting this show. Like
I'll never revisit the show.
Like we'll see with season 2 if they're introducing this character who seems like he's way more hardcore and crazy. It seems a little bit more in line with what how Moon Knight's like kind of base personality seems to be in the comics and stuff. So hopefully, you know, Kevin Feige and them kind of learn from this and kind of.
I don't think they will because like it's critically acclaimed.
Yeah, it's still
people
doing really
like
great.
it.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's one of the highest rated Disney Plus shows.
I hope that they decide to like, you know, open it up a little bit more and decide to like, you know, really commit to this to the Moon Knight idea and just and also I hope that Moon Knight in general just doesn't just become bland.
Like, they're trying to make this creatively exciting and daring and adult, darker thematic material. Well, this is what I say to that. Okay.
All right, guys.
Thank you, guys. To another episode of Half a Clue TV Review, where we cover another disappointing fucking Marvel Disney Plus show. Is Disney Plus the problem? I fucking think it is.
I think it may be really, you know, it's holding back a lot of this stuff. And I think the problem is when you try to do a character like Moon Knight on Disney Plus, this is kind of what happens, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, the problem is also us. We watch it, we like people like it, and
we're talking.
They're never gonna learn.
I was enjoying it for like a while, like over a month, however long this, you know, the 6 weeks that this show was premiering, I was having a pretty decent time for most of it. Again, but it's just that those damn finales, man. What's up with that?
All right, bye, guys. We're gonna just get into a cave and be depressed and get multiple personalities.
Yeah,
that'll be more fun than actually watching the show. All right, bye, you guys.
Okay.